Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to our screening day. Our screening day is going to be a little impacted because I did not receive that many projects from people. So that makes it kind of tough, doesn't it? So if you're popping into class, make sure we throw our name in the chat. I want to know who's here. I don't want to show videos if those people aren't here. So Shane's here. Hello, Shane. Good morning. I got your email. So thank you for putting that video in the right spot. And when I sit down to do a grade sweep, I'll get the pre-production one assignment taken care of as well. In fact, you know what? Since you're here, and I don't know when that grade sweep's going to be, let me just do it real quick. Because I did a sweep on Saturday and took care of all the late work. And I don't think I've gotten anything since. I don't know because I didn't sweep, but I know I got yours. So let's go take a quick look at that while we wait for folks to show and we can start our screening. Oh, okay. It's in a separate doc. Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, nothing happened. So I was laughing at there's no changing the steps or the computer won't work. Very true. Now let's go to the grade book. Nope, this one. Get that in there. Cool. All right. Okay, so that one grade is updated, at least. The project's in the right spot. All right, so before we get into our screening, and as it stands right now, Shane, I'll take a look at yours with you and give you some quick feedback. I'm going to give more in-depth feedback, but I just want to outline our week together, and that way if people check in later, they can catch this. Probably should have started with that instead of grading, but that's okay. That's okay. You're here, and I'm happy that you're here. So just so you know, it's going to be a rather light week this week, even class today. If we're the only one here, we'll take a look at your video, but honestly, if you got stuff to take care of, I'm not going to hold you for the whole hour. That would be silly and foolish and unfair of me. When we meet again on Thursday, I'm going to go over let me pull it up here. The reflection for this project. It's 11 questions. A lot of them are geared a little bit less about the content of the project, more about the time frame, the technical hurdles, and things like that. Because especially over the last few days, I've gotten a ton of emails from people having issues with things. And so it'll be focused on that. And then, of course, we'll have some class time to do that. I'm kind of intentionally taking a slower paced week this week for a couple of reasons. One, I only see you twice, and so I don't want to drop what we're doing, like get out of one project and immediately into some stuff that pertains to another without some sense of a breather. And I figured with a 3-day weekend coming up, it would be a good opportunity for us to kind of like, hey, let's catch our breath after a project and slow down a little bit. Enjoy that long weekend as best we can. I know there's a little bit less to do and not as much going on. My family normally does a big Memorial Day weekend barbecue. This is the first time in 30 years they're not doing it, so everyone's hurting a little hard. And the other reason is there is some stuff for the school that I'm doing that's going to slow me down a little bit as well. I've got a ton of video projects for Executive Student Council, for the athletic department, graduation. We're already starting to plan some things. And while I don't have a lot of details on that, it seems to be they're trying to make it as grandiose as possible under the circumstances. So if it gives me a week to catch up on some of that stuff, it gives you guys a breather to relax after doing a project, then I'm totally cool with that. This is the rubric that's going to go back to you. So the only reason why I'm showing it is, as you know, you'll get these in class. The big difference here is that traditionally in class, you don't turn things on projects in on Google Classroom. And so I just wanted to let people know, if you check Google Classroom for your project grade, you're going to see a number, but you're not going to see any feedback or notes. These will be sent out to everyone individually once they're finished to get that detailed feedback. So I just kind of not a warning, but a precursor, just to check your email for these when they go back. Because if you email me and say, hey, Mr. Leonard, why did I get a 70 on this project? I'm going to ask you, did you see the feedback on the rubric that I gave? It's more detailed than Google Classroom. So just make sure you check your email for that. A lot of the stuff, there's a little bit of leniency with, like video image is a category I have almost in every project that focuses on shot composition, camera skills, camera movement. But obviously, under our circumstances, if you're using your phone, I don't even have a tripod for my phone. I wouldn't expect that shot to be the steadiest thing in the world. Things like that. Some of the more nitpicky stuff as they pertain to the project requirements. Did you hit the 15 shot minimum? Are there 5? Did you get the 5 required shot types that I was looking for? Did you use text the correct amount of times? Were you on camera in the appropriate way? Did you use a song, right? Effort and concept just kind of speaks to how well you speak about your skill set and how confident you come in addressing that material and demonstrating it for us. And does the quality of your video, match that effort? And then the final edit, how did that piece together? Is text cut off? Did we, are there black flashes? Are there jump cuts that aren't stylistic and they're done kind of accidentally? Those things are there. And then of course the bottom for notes and feedback. So you'll see those. I'm probably realistically going to have to again set aside Saturday as my grading day. Even though I've got a ton of video work to do then, I can't let these projects linger too long. Since you guys have a small section, I got a small handful from your class now in on time. I might try and take care of those early. And Shane, since you're here, I'm sure yours will be the first one on that list. And I'm excited to see it. So I'm gonna load it up into OBS here, so we can play it back together. And I can just give you some quick thoughts, initial impressions. And if you're the only one still here at that point, we can call it early on the day, I suppose. There might be other stuff you have to take care of. 3A. Is it this one? Yes, cool. Okay. So select that, open that up. I'll actually be able to listen to it this time, unlike the practice project where I couldn't hear anything. I finally got my inputs and outputs all sorted with my computer and my soundboard and OBS and all that jazz. It's been a learning process for me too. So Shane, without further ado, let's take a look at your project and learn how to build a computer. I might have some questions for you after this. That might be an endeavor I try and take. So here we go.
Welcome to Baking with Lana.
Nope, that's not right. I selected the file, so what the heck happened? Let's... Wait, cancel. I don't want it. Okay. It's right there. It's the same... Frustrating. This happened yesterday, too, and I don't know why. I know I selected the file. Open. Okay. Try that one more time.
Hello. Alright, so for today's project, I will be teaching you how to build a computer. So for our parts, we have unnamed RAM, even though it says on the box, there's old RAM in here. AMD 4300X, or FX 4300X, I think. Yeah, something like that. An RX 560 2GB VRAM, and an unnamed Chinese brand motherboard. See, it says it all in the boxes, but there's old parts in here, not the new parts. That's in my actual PC, which is right there, and that's my setup. So, alright, so first off, you always got to start off with your motherboard. To decrease static electricity, use a backplate like the box for your motherboard, just to not break the motherboard right when you just got it. So first things first, you should always put your CPU in. As said, I have a very old AMD FX 4300. How do you put a CPU in, you ask? Well, first off, don't touch the pins on the back. I mean, I am, because I don't use this, but. So, you see this triangle right here? You're gonna match it up with the triangle that should be over here or over here. For me, it is over here. So, you take this little pin, get it up, and then you kinda don't put any force into it or you will break it. And it just kinda plops in, and you put it down. That's how you put a CPU in. Very simple. Next, you always put in your RAM after your CPU. Today, we will be using some unnamed, oh, actually, there's a name. ADATA, 8GB DDR3 RAM. So what you do with this RAM, you see this? You gotta line it up with the socket that it goes into. Now, always put your RAM closest to your CPU. Alright. Next, we have the graphics card. Again, today we'll be using the RX 560 2GB VRAM, no VGA cable on it. It is very small. It has one fan when it has space for two fans, but they just cheaped out on that one. Alright, so next, you find something that this right here will fit into. You find there's a bunch of ports, but for different types of graphics card. So you find your port, and kind of like with the RAM, you kind of just put it in the socket. Don't apply force like I just did. That was stupid of me, but I don't use these parts. I never will use these parts again. So you know it's in there when you try to get it out, and also this right here is up. So if you ever want to take it out, which you probably will eventually, you kind of just put that down and you take it out. All right. Next, you have your CPU fan. And what do you need for a CPU fan? And what you need for a CPU fan is liquid glue. Yeah, thermal glue, thermal paste, whatever you want to call it. You need that. Yeah. So how to put this on? You kind of just take the cap off, you spray a little bit on, and then you carefully plop this on the CPU. And then there's going to be screws right there, right, those two and those two. You just screw those in, and then you take this plug right here and you plug it in right there. Where's the CPU fan? And other than that, you have a PC. Pretty much, yeah. All the wiring you should do after you put it inside the case. I'm not going to put it inside the case because this will just turn into a 2-hour thing. But, so that's my how-to video.
All right, Shane. That was really good. And informative too. In fact, I would even go a step further and say, how do I put this? A lot of what I was watching, as a tech savvy person, I'm like, oh, okay. Like I've never built a computer, but I know all the parts and I know what all the parts do. Um, I didn't know if it would be worthwhile in, while you're demonstrating, hey, this is how you put your RAM in. Oh, and by the way, this is what RAM does because like that's a part that gets confused, right? People go, oh, RAM is memory. Well, that's where all my stuff's saved. No, no, no. And I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of the technical mix-ups. There are so many people that don't know basic computer parts, and they really should. But I thought this was excellent. I was hoping you were going to get to the casing, but I also was like, I don't know if he's going to do that. And that's totally okay. You hit the major components of that computer. Of course, yeah, it would have turned into a 2-hour project once you bring cabling and the casing and monitors and peripherals and stuff in there. And so, yeah, that could have gone on forever. But I think you hit a lot of the major points in how to put things in. I like that you were very, very careful to say a few things you don't want to do, like, hey, don't touch these pins. Apply your thermal paste. Make sure it's locked in with the little tabbies on the sides. Don't apply pressure because you could snap that mother. Like those are all good things to hear. All right. Especially in the circumstances where you might have been doing the opposite. But I also understand that you're using basically spare parts that are going to be in the trash at some point. So you forcing the graphics card into a motherboard that you will never use again, obviously you're a little bit more comfortable doing that. So I'm glad that at least you said the opposite because that helps clarify people shouldn't be pushing on stuff. So excellent, cool. Other than that, some technical things. The music could have come down a little bit. I didn't know where you edited this. It looked like WeVideo based on the template. I didn't know if you were going to bring this over to your home computer and use Premiere. And I'm not going to knock points for the audio. It's so hard to gauge levels when there are no meters in WeVideo. So we were able to hear you clearly. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, obviously I will get more into detail in the grade that goes back. And I know there are two people hiding here in the shadows, but I don't know who you are. I want to show your videos if you're here. I'm just going to keep pressing this button until I get some names. I figured, Shane, just based on the title intro and the credits and stuff, which unfortunately I know don't look the greatest, but man, is it so much easier than doing titles in After Effects or anything like that. We have two mystery viewers that don't want to say their name. The nerve. Damien, what is going on, my man? Were we able to get our project in? Let me check. No. Okay. Give me a status update, Damien. I want to know where we're at. I know you had some tech issues, and we chatted a bunch in through email. So where are you with your project? Give me a quick update. It's your boy Fetty. Okay. Sure. So where are we with that? Like, give me a percentage. What do we got left to do? Just so I know. Candidate speeches. Okay. All right. That's not bad, given that I know we were also making up the last one, and I'm glad that you're at full capacity now with your Chromebook and stuff. So, 40 is not bad. That's good. That's good. Okay, cool. Well, dude, go use this time now to do some work on that, right? Like if our class runs for another 38 minutes, I don't know, that's 38 minutes that you can maybe jump up to 60%. I would capitalize on that time. So I'm glad that you checked in. Thank you for being here. And Shane, thank you for coming and getting that project in and allowing us to screen it together and give you a little bit of one-on-one feedback. It'll be more details on the rubric that goes back and stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. Damien, if you're going to go work on some stuff, go for it. And Shane, you're more than welcome to hang. If you want to bounce, take care of some other work, or just relax and unwind before your next class, feel free. I'm not going to be offended if you want to head on out. I'm going to only hang for like another 5 minutes and see if anyone else comes into our class today. Otherwise, I'm going to shut the stream down at 11:28, maybe 11:30. But yeah, I don't want to make you guys stay here if I've got nothing to screen and you've got other stuff to take care of. So I'm just going to start taking care of some other work, and hopefully some folks will join us. Nope, that one's good. Oh, good. I'll receive more emails. You got it, Shane. Thanks for being here today, bud. I appreciate it. And thank you for getting that work done. It came out really nice. I hope everything else for you is going well and you're doing good. Class of 2022, stepping up. Good for you. All right, I lied. I'm going to wrap up now. I'm just sitting here thinking the realistic possibility that someone's coming halfway to class or halfway through class probably is not very likely. So the next time we meet, I'm just going to go over our reflection in a little bit more detail. I showed it briefly today in the beginning of our stream. I'm going to go through it a little bit more in a little bit more detail. I said that already. Just so you kind of have an idea of how to answer that. And then honestly, we can use that time to get it done, get it turned in, forget about it before, our 3-day weekend. So hopefully you can kind of just rest, relax, knowing that heading into Thursday's class, you'll have a light assignment then, but it's not super taxing. A lot of honest feedback is all I'm really looking for and always look for in our project reflections. And you can kind of hang your hat knowing that today, tomorrow, you don't have to worry about getting stuff done for this class. So enjoy your afternoon. Get outside if you get a chance. It's sunny and beautiful. And I will see some of you hopefully all of you on Thursday. All right, later.